everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to the technical session 4A. Myself, Shashwat Mani Tripathi, and this session would be moderated by me. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and GR Scholastic, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 10th International Conference on Smart Trend in Computing and Communications, SMARTCOM 2026, Pune, India. The 10th edition of the conference is being organized in the hybrid mode. The physical event is held today in Pune, India, and virtual event is being held through Zoom from 19 to 21st January 2026. I hope you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive session through the day. In this session, we have 10 presentations. Each presenter will be given 10 minutes for the presentations and 2 minutes for question and answers. On 9th minute, I will raise a gentle reminder. There is another request to all the participants that you all stay connected with us till the closing remark. If you have any query or update, then you can write it to me in the chat box. Just before we start this session, I would like to introduce you all to the chair of this session, Dr. Jamin Kotwal. Sir, Sir is an associate professor in the Department of Computer Engineering at Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Technology, Pimpri, Pune, India. With over 40 years of experience in engineering education and research, his research interests include machine learning and artificial intelligence with a strong emphasis on real-world application. His work covered diverse domains such as plant disease detection, facial recognition based, touchless attendance system, sign language translation, smart expense management, and emotion based intelligent chatbot. Sir, would you like to share a quick opening remark with us?
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah, good morning to one and all. And thank you, Tripathi, for yes, such a nice introduction. So we will just go through quick that whatever the presentation will be there, fine. Your presentation will be strict to that timeline only. And try to show the novelty of your work, whatever the work you have carried out. Right? Try to present in well manner so that it can be easily get executed. Right? So thank you to you all, and also thank you to the SmartCon organizer for inviting me as a session chair. Thank you.
Now, I would like to start with the paper. So first we have Ghanshyam, paper titled A Concise Survey of Machine Learning Technique for Parkinson Disease Detection. You may please begin with your presentation.
Yes, sir. Yes. Give me a minute. So, good morning, all. My screen visible to all? Hello, am I
Yes,
audible?
it is.
Okay. So, good morning, respected chair, professor, and all participants. I am Ghanshyam Parkhade. So, today I will present the paper title Comprehensive Survey of Machine Learning Techniques for Parkinson Disease. I will now begin with outline of my presentation. So, my paper ID is 115, and my topic is Comprehensive Survey of Machine Learning Techniques for Parkinson Disease Detection. So today's I am going to present objective of this paper, introduction, then we'll explain the previous study and research trend, a methodology used to solve this paper, then machine learning model for PD detection, then challenges we are facing for this paper, then discussion and further direction, then end with the references. So objective of this paper today to study the Parkinson disease is diagnosis challenges. That means what are the challenges we are facing to writing this paper and to detect the Parkinson's disease diagnostic challenges. The review machine learning and deep learning techniques to for the PD detection. Then to compare the performance of the traditional machine learning model and advanced deep learning model. So here we comparing this machine learning traditional model and the advanced deep learning model to identify the key challenges, limitation and research gap. So suggest the future direction for clinically applicable for PD detection and system. So this is the objective of my paper. Then so what is Parkinson disease? So in this, the Parkinson disease is the brain disorder affected by this. This is the brain disorder that is the that affected on the movement. So Parkinson disease, the PD brain disorder that mainly affect on the movement, it occur when dopamine producing cell in the brain slowly die. So it occur when the dopamine producing cell in the brain slowly die. Dopamine is important for the smooth and control the movement of the human body. So loss of the dopamine, if the dopamine is not created in the body, so cause of the movement problem such as shaking, a slowness of a movement, stiff muscle and balance difficulty. We are facing this problem when the dopamine not created in our body. So these are for the that is the movement. Then this PD can also cause a non-movement problem, including speech changes. So there is a voice distortion where we are talking. There is a speech changes. Then reduce the facial expression, mark face. We can say that memory and mood issue. So Parkinson disease progress slowly over the time. Day by day, it increases in your body. There is no cure, but medicine can help to manage the symptoms. The PD is common neurodegenerative brain disorder, mainly affecting the older adult. So we can see this disease in older adult caused by the progressive loss and dopamine producing neuron. Dopamine deficiency disturb the normal motor control, that is movement control, lead to both motor and non-motor symptoms. PD progressive and meaning symptoms over the time. So motor function refer ability to of the body movement, control muscle smoothly and accurately. Then it includes action like walking, writing, speaking, maintaining the balance. Example, when the person want to pick up the cup, the brain sends signal to the hand muscle to move the grip and lift the cup. This require proper motor function. Already in science in 8th 9th standard we study this in science project also, how to brain send the signal to the that means the part of the body, and body part can work properly. In Parkinson disease, motor function affected because the brain does not produce enough dopamine. So unable to produce enough required dopamine, then the body maybe appear maybe default that with the PD diseases. At a result, the hand may be shake while holding the cup. Then the movement may be become slowly. Muscle may be feel stiff. The person struggle for the person struggle maybe the maintain the balances. So go to the next. This is the basic introduction of the what is the PD. Then so this is the diagram. So healthy brain person, then loss of dopamine. This indicate diagram. Then after loss of dopamine, the loss of dopamine neurons in the we person, that means the suffer from this problem. Motor symptoms, tumor, shaking, slowness, muscle stiffness, balance problem, tumor, non-motor function, symptoms, speech changes, mark space, memory, and mood issue. These are the issue we facing the PD. Then what are the methodology used for this? So facial image collect to detect the hypomania in Parkinson patient, image capture during the on-face meditation, data used to visible light. Here we are capturing the facial expression, capturing the data. Then after capturing data, the data set can be cleaned, normalized and split into the model, that is train model and test model. So classical machine learning model we use here SVM, KNN, assemble, train the geometric facial feature. Deep learning also CNN used to automatic facial learning first. That is deep learning. This is the machine learning model. Then classification machine learning model. Manually design, you already know that is a machine learning model used for manually design. That is a facial geometric SVM and KNN model used for SVM support vector machine. Then separate PD healthy face using the optimal decision boundary. Then KNN, that is the nearest neighbor, classify face comparing it similar known sample. Why classical machine learning model easy to understand, work well, and small database require less computation for the machine learning model. Here the methodology views here CVN and KNN. We are using this methodology. So then deep learning model, we are using the deep learning model also. That means what? Now that is explain the deep learning approaches that we can use the conventional neural network. CNN automatically learn the important facial pattern such as muscle movement, facial expression, texture changes. So deep learning it automatically learn the expression, facial expression. Then why that is learn the facial pattern? Why use deep learning? Detect the complex and subtle facial expression, provide higher accuracy than the classical model. Need a large database. Here using the methodology that is the machine learning, then the deep learning. In short, diagrammatically we represent facial expression. See the facial expression, then visible IR fusion, that is data pre-processing, then classical ML, then deep learning. Then classical ML, the identify, classify in the train model and test model. Then PD and healthy person. Here classification for this. Previous study, the various previous study already on the PD detection. Then previously single modality approaches. Here early study focus on the data type at one data type at a time. Voice and speech, spatial expression, gained movement, handwriting. Traditional machine learning model accuracy typically 85 to 94%. Then deep learning model that applies speech spectrogram, spatial video frame, sensor based. CNN, RNN used for automatic feature learning model, deep learning model. Here we are using the multi-model research train, that is a hybrid model, fusion of voice, face, gain, and handwriting. Enable hybrid DL model used for this. Achieve highest accuracy 94 to 96%. Increase the complexity and pre-processing the cost. Here, previous study recent single modality, deep learning, and multi-model approach. Traditional ML, traditional deep learning, and
You
here is
have
the
1 minute to conclude your
yes,
presentation.
yes, yes, yes. So these are the model we are using: classical learning model, deep learning model, hybrid model for this. So this is the model for using Parkinson data, then data pre-processing train model, test model. So we are facing the challenge and data should be not accurate for this, high computational cost, GPU and requirement for this, unable to balance the data. So these are the for this machine learning show the strong potential. So these are the challenges we are facing for this. Classical machine learning work well data set but depend on the manual feature. So these are the model my. So with the help of these references we conclude here we are using. So anyone have any doubt? Hello.
Sir, do you have any question?
Yeah, what is the size of your data set
So side
for
should
this
be my record.
PD, for this PD disease detection?
Huh?
What is the size of the data set? How many
1000
images? How many
record.
images you are going to use to train your model?
Sir, near about we have 500 images. Then images will be converted into the data set.
500 images. It's your own images you have collected, or from other platform you are going to download it?
Yes, yes, we are using the other platform also Kaggle.com, and also we are
So
collecting
in
data.
Kaggle, which data set you are mainly focusing? So if you go through onto the Kaggle, there are having just only 60, 100 images, and you are saying 500 images
Yes,
are
yes,
there. Which data set you
yes.
are using specifically? You mentioned specifically which data set you are using.
Specifically, that means that is we are studying that Datta Mekhe Medical University. So university give the proper data test for this. This is the first paper review for this review and Parkinson disease. So this part will be pending. So we will be concluded. We will cover with the next phase.
Okay, can you just tell me the features which is there in the data set? Features, specific features. Say, suppose if I want to predict the house price prediction, in that we
Yes,
can
yes,
say we are having the features, that is the price, then afterwards the number of rooms, locations. Same
yes,
as
yes.
for the Parkinson disease detection, which features are there in the data set?
So walking pattern, we can say that gain is a feature. Then walking speed is a feature for this.
What
Common
is
feature,
MDVP?
yes, yes. Drawing the speed, yes.
MDVP, what it means?
Sorry.
MDVP. MDVP, have you know about it, the feature?
A multi-dimensional voice program, Parkinson disease for this.
Okay, so one last question, how you are going to balance the imbalanced data set?
So in balance data, we have to pre-processing the data set using the various data analytic techniques.
No, 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 not the data analytics techniques.
Yes,
Imbalanced data set, how you are going to tackle imbalanced data set?
in balance data set. So we need we pre-processing the data set.
But how? Pre-processing the data set means there are so many algorithms, techniques are there, na? So that we
Yes,
can
yes.
easily, we can't say pre-processing, but in that pre-processing, which algorithm, specific algorithm you are going to use to handle the imbalanced data set?
Okay. So sorry,
Okay,
sir, I don't know the name of
okay,
this
fine,
date.
fine, fine.
Yes, yes,
So I'm done with this. Next presentation.
yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Next we have Preeti Sagar, paper titled A Hybrid Approach for Unveiling Metrical Pattern in Kosher Poetry. You may please begin with your presentation.
Good morning, sir. Am I audible and my presentation is visible?
Yes, you are audible. And your
Thank
presentation.
you. Thanks. My presentation is visible?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. My name is Preeti Sagar. My paper ID is 148. I'm working on a hybrid approach for unveiling metrical patterns in the kosher poetry. First of all, I would like to introduce what is the kosher poetry, what is kosher all about. My native language is Kashmiri. I am from the Jammu and Kashmir part of the India. Kosher is a language which is spoken in the northern part of India, that is known as the Kashmir. So I'm working on the language. My topic is natural language processing, and I'm working on this particular language, which is my native language. The work here is to find the metrical structures in the kosher poetry. Metrical जिसको हम हिंदी में we call it छंद in Hindi. So metrical patterns, finding metrical patterns is the research area over here. We have some metrical patterns over here which are named as Vak, Vatsun, Vanvun, and Shruk. My research is limited to these four metrical patterns because it was little difficult for me to find out the data set first of all, then to understand each and every meter with its rules and all the writing styles. So I have limited my research to these four meters. The first, my problem statement is to automatically detect the meters in the kosher poetry. So the first challenge which I faced was to collect the data set because there was no ready to use data set available. Then I implemented, first I created a rule-based metrical identification models. It was important to construct a rule-based model because machine learning models cannot automatically detect them without constructing the rules. Because these are very much different from the Hindi meters. Quotient meters are very much different from the Hindi meters. So I constructed rule-based meter identification model. Then I applied machine learning models. I tried with the 10 machine learning models on the same data set, of course. And then to get, it was not showing very much great accuracy. So to enhance the accuracy, I developed a hybrid classification approach also using some top performing machine learning models. So my contribution here will be the first is to create the data set itself. That is itself a contribution towards my language. Second is I developed a rule-based algorithm which I named as V2WS. Vak, Vatsun, because two V's are there, and Vanhun and Shuk. And I implemented 10 machine learning models on the same and used an hybrid assembling approach to just enhance. It was it was just an try to enhance the accuracy of the model. The data set here used is total 1197 verses I have used. The collection of the data set, the sources are some from the digital libraries, some from the books, some from the online resources, but majorly the data set is constructed from the authors itself. I connected with them and they send me the data, they send me the points itself. So, if we talk about the description of the data set, in VAC, I consider 362 watts, Watson 271, 11224, and Shuk 340. Whichever it was available, whatever was available, I collected everything and I considered everything over here. This is the methodology for the implementation of V2WS. So it was very important here to pre-process the data for elimination of the symbols. There was some numbers inside the data which I removed. There were some symbols which were of course of no use. I removed those symbols using the data pre-processing. Then implementation of rules which were very important over here. All the 4 meters have its own rules. Line lengths, syllable patterns, rhythmic patterns. I have to manually find them first of all and then constructed those in rules and tried to find out the meters in different forms. So then I implemented the 10 machine learning models on the same data set. The machine learning models which were considered was MNB, SVM, DT, LR, RF. And all these models, among these, if you can see on the screen, SVM performed the best. It gave me the accuracy of 82.25. And my own novel model, which was V2WS, it gave the accuracy of 81.75. So then the hybrid approach was used to with the top 5 models to enhance the accuracy. That was the only reason for using this hybrid approach, just to enhance the accuracy. And DT was used for the tiebreaker. DT was used as a tiebreaker. Sorry. This is the methodology for the hybrid approach. Top 5 models were considered, and then prediction was considered of these top 5 models. But if we receive a tie, then DT was the 6th top performing model. I used DT for the tie breaking. This is the result of these hybrid approach gave me 85.3% accuracy, which is little better than the previous results. Not very much better, but 0.2% better than the previous models. DT, if we use some verses were calculated with the help of the DT also. So that gave the accuracy of 80.4%, and my own model, rule-based model, that performed 81.75%. So, in conclusion, I can say that this was a try to give a contribution to my language because it is very much under-resourced language. Even no data set, no ready-to-use data set I got. It's a difficult task to assemble the data set. So this was my little contribution towards the language, and I'm still working on the same, and I'm working on for few more meters. I'm trying to include few more meters into this, and in future, I would suggest that this same model can be used with the other languages as well, if we modify it a little bit here and there. Thank you so much. I'm open for the questions now.
Thank you for the presentation. Sir, do you have any question?
Yeah. Can you tell me how you can handle the oral as well as the written variations?
Yes, oral variations I haven't used at all over here. And written variations, so the first thing which I want to tell over here is it was little difficult for me also because I am the person who is very much not linked with the poetry. So it was little difficult for me. I took the help of the authors as well to help me to construct these rules, to find out how each verse is we can detect, and that is the way I created the features extraction rules. But speaking oral I haven't touched at all.
Okay. So see, when you train your model by all those metrical features, whatever you have saying, that is a Watson.
Yes, yes, sir.
Can the trained machine learning model can be used for the Urdu languages as for
No,
also
sir.
for the
No,
Persian?
no. It can tackle only the Devanagari languages. If your script is Devanagari, like Marathi is using a Devanagari script. So if you use these rules with Devanagari script, it can show you the results. Of course, Marathi must have a different set of metrical patterns. If we amend these rules little bit over here and there, we can use the same with the Devanagari. Any language which is using Devanagari script, we can use these models.
Okay. And which phonological features are you going to extract from the Koshur matter?
Sir, as I said earlier, I have used the help of the authors also. They suggested me that rhythmic is the main important feature in meter. Rhythm is the main important feature. So, like line number 1 ends with sir, and line number 4 ends with sir. So that is creating 1 meter, and with in between the lines. Between the lines, there may be some words which are, there are some lines which are not more than 4 words. So, such kind of patterns I extracted actually, and main focus was on the rhythms phonologically.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So next we have Rehan Patel, paper titled Exploring Software Vulnerability in Smartwatch Security, a Comprehensive Review. Rehan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You may please begin with the presentation.
Yeah. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. You may please start.
Apologies for the delay. Good morning to you all. And my paper ID is 173, and the paper title is Exploring Software Vulnerabilities in Smartwatch Security. It is a comprehensive review about various kind of vulnerabilities that are found in smartwatches these days, specifically from the software standpoint. So when you talk about smartwatches today, they are no longer just a device that tells you time. They have evolved into something more than that, including health monitoring, communication tools, even payment enablers. They are today in this world. They collect various kind of data of the user. They store the data. They transmit that sensitive information across the network to the device, to the cloud, to the servers, and that creates huge landscape of new kind of attack that can take place. Smartwatches are right now connected to phones using either Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, and a lot of time they are also connected using eSIM, and that allows them to connect to the cloud servers also that basically communicates frequently with them. And these all becomes an entry point for the vulnerabilities to come from. And with increasing adoption right now, we can see that ton and ton of people have started buying smartwatches in last 5 years. The security mechanism are struggling to keep up with it. So that is exactly what the motivation behind this particular research was, to identify this kind of issues. Now, when we talk about software vulnerabilities, what are the specific kind of vulnerabilities that are often found in this kind of typical watches? So first and foremost, you would find older firmwares that they are running on. There are unpatched components in those devices. There are insecure applications that they pair with. And then at the end, the weak data handling, where if somebody is able to tap into the network, they would be able to get the hold of the data. And what kind of impact that can create. So there can be unauthorized access, there can be privacy breaches, there can be sensitive data leakage that could take place. There are multiple kind of health metrics manipulation that can take place as well. So these are all the things that could be done using the exploitation part. And the risk part is highly dependent on the exploitability. So this paper would be looking into what all kind of vulnerabilities that can be exploited in the wild as far as software components are concerned with the smartwatches. So this is the overall aim. So the specific objective of this paper is to focus on the software vulnerabilities and the key weaknesses. And like we have OWASP top 10 for the web applications, this paper is trying to propose a kind of top 10 for the software vulnerabilities of smartwatches. So that is what we are trying to do here, to discuss the impact, discuss the severity of these various vulnerabilities that are present here. Now, the research approach that I have taken here is mix of quantitative and qualitative work, I would say. So I have gone through the various peer-reviewed research on the existing IoT devices and the wearable devices. Apart from that, I have gone through various CVE entries that are available for the smartwatches of anybody who has found these vulnerabilities in the wild. Apart from that, I have gone through all the vendor-related security advisories and white papers that various companies have released who also release smartwatches in the market. So what I have done, I have accumulated all these, I've studied them, and manually one by one, I've categorized based on the attack vector of each vulnerability, impact of them, and exploitability of them. And then I've created a table where I'm providing the data about the exploitability of the vulnerabilities, user exposure, and I'm providing a severity rating based on the CV that I have found. So these are the 10 vulnerabilities that are right now, I would say, the most prevalent when you talk about the software related vulnerabilities in the smartwatch environment. You have very first insecure data storage, then you have flawed authentication mechanism, then you have outdated firmware, insufficient input validation, cross-site scripting, improper session handling, code injection, insecure default settings, buffer overflow, and lack of encryption. Now, these 10 vulnerabilities don't necessarily all belong to the smartwatch itself, but it also covers the portion of the application that that smartwatch pairs with in your mobile phone. So if the application is compromised, that inevitably would make the smartwatch compromise as well. So we have tried to cover both components with these 10 vulnerabilities that are commonly occurring in the market right now. And based on this study, we have found various occurrences from last 5 years of this kind of vulnerabilities being exploited. Like for example, flawed authentication was exploited on 24th of October 2024 in Apple watches, where authentication was bypassed, and the CVE for that is mentioned here as well. Apart from that, outdated firmware was also found in the Cisco smartwatches, where unauthorized access was provided of the device, and the CVE for that is also mentioned here. The insecure data storage was found also in Apple smartwatches. I believe it was Series 4 and before that. Then there was a huge incident with Huawei children's smartwatches, which were the watches created for the parent to look after their children. It had a camera as well, and that smartwatch has various vulnerabilities that was found across it, including authentication bypass. And same goes with the Garmin watch also, where sensitive data leakage took place because the terminating a session wouldn't prevent the live track API from continued exposure from backend to the personal interface and personal data that was stored on that smartwatch, or that smartwatch dealing with that paired device. Apart from that, there was another this watch created by Huawei that was known as Aslan Children's smartwatch. There were multiple vulnerabilities released across in a single article that were defining insecure data storage, insufficient input validation in various sections, which were severely high impact factor related vulnerabilities, where the attacker would be able to access certain files on that smartwatch, not just on the smartwatch, but on the mobile phone as well. So that explained to us how severe it can get. Then the Samsung Galaxy Watch also had lack of encryption related issues, where attacker would be able to access user information in the log format. So that was something that was there as well. Then something known as cross-site scripting is also possible in today's world, which is typically a web application related vulnerability. But nowadays, the smartwatches and these devices are becoming so capable that you can have internet on your hand, and that could result in cross-site scripting exposing the smartwatch itself as well. So that was also found in Wear OS and Watch OS related devices, where sensitive data leakage was taking place because of XSS vulnerability. Then comes the code injection part, where specifically Garmin Forerunner 235 model was exposed to it, where application was able to perform activities outside the restricted environment. Where basically, typically what happens in an operating system where applications are restricted to their own environment and they are not allowed to operate outside of it. But in this particular situation, the buffer overflow could took place and code injection could took place, where the application would be able to operate outside the restricted environment. And lastly, in Huawei Watch 2, the insecure default setting was found, where attacker was able to bypass the permission check that was in place and was able to access sensitive data. Now, what do we learn from this basically? So the key observations are here, that vulnerabilities that have been found are focused towards primarily two stuff. You have data handling part and you have access control part. So the attackers are either trying to get the access of something that they are not having access to, or trying to steal the data that is either being processed by the smartwatch or being stored by the smartwatch. And when you talk about smartwatch security, why is it so difficult for the vendors to basically work upon it? The primary reason being the attack surface is a bit bigger. So you have wearable device, you have companion application, you have cloud APIs, you have wireless protocols, and if either any of them gets compromised, the entire ecosystem gets compromised. And the major issue right now in the market is these smartwatch vendors are coming out with smartwatches so often that they don't have any proper secure software engineering pipeline for the operating systems that are running on those smartwatches to basically make them secure enough. Now, so for that reason, I am having some proposals for the manufacturers and practitioners in this field. First and foremost, there should be secure by design software development process for entire smartwatch as well as the application that is pairing with that smartwatch. Apart from that, the second suggestion should be that there majority of the smartwatches that are releasing in the market right now, once you purchase that smartwatch, never that smartwatch receives any update from their vendors. And nowadays we are aware that every single day new vulnerabilities are coming into the market. So there should be some frequent updates, patching discipline required, like basically implemented into the pipeline, so that this kind of known vulnerabilities can be avoided. Apart from that, they should include the encryption in the storage as well as transmission component. They should also harden the default settings and permission related to what user can access and how user can access on that particular smartwatch. And apart from that, if enough like coordination is there, enough transparency is there from the vendor side, this process can become much easier for everybody. Now, the apart from that, the key observations were here that you require more focused smartwatch related security studies. So right, when I was going through this particular study, I was getting dead end a lot of time because there were not enough material available in the market for even any simulation or any study for that such. So any firmware related analysis should be done on this scale. There should be some sensor or IoT thread modeling related wearable content available, and there should be some end-to-end evaluation of smartwatch, phone, and cloud all together for us to understand how exactly smartwatches can be a threat for us. And as far as the standardization is concerned, everything in internet is standardized these days. As far as security is concerned, you have standardization for web applications, you have standardization for internet, you have standardization for devices. So we require that kind of industry-wide standardization for smartwatch security as well, and better reporting should be there for it. Now, in conclusion, I would like to say that smartwatch software vulnerabilities are numerous, diverse, and impactful. When you talk about the kind of impact that can have there on their end user, the risk is really high because some of the vulnerabilities are exposing the user data, exposing the health related information, and exposing the access of that smartwatch to the attacker. So at the end of the day, this kind of security requires a full life cycle approach from design to development to deploy to update to user awareness so that we can have a foolproof smartwatch environment for the user. So yeah, with that being said, these are the references. Thank you. If you guys have any questions.
Thank you for the presentation. Sir, do you have any questions?
Yeah, you just tell me which layer of the software watch are most vulnerable?
So if
Which
I have to
layer?
rank it like that,
For each
so
and every software, we having the layers.
yes, correct.
Right? So which layer of the smartwatch software stack are the most vulnerable?
So if I have to specifically point out a stack based on the observation I had, it is the network layer where the protocols are being laid out. So majority of the protocols that are being used for the smartwatches are plain text protocols. So whenever they transmit data over the network, they are transmitting in the plain text. So if anybody is, let's say, like for example, tapping on the Bluetooth environment in nearby environment, they might be able to get hold of the packets that are being transmitted. So network layer.
Okay, now tell me how you are going to demonstrate your complete idea.
So basically, that is whole point of my PhD is all about that I'm working on a framework that is doing the smartwatch vulnerability assessment. So I have created a tool. Using that tool, I am able to basically connect my laptop with a smartwatch, for example, let's say, and I'm able to go through various checks to find out if there are any known vulnerabilities present in that smartwatch. Let's say, for example, primarily when you talk about smartwatches, the main protocol they work on is BLE, and in BLE you have two attributes, two protocols that are rather being used the most. You have ATT and you have GATT, attribute and general attribute, using which they basically pull out feature from the paired application and as well as send data towards it in the key pair algorithm. So in that environment, what I'm doing basically, I'm trying to connect with that smartwatch and trying to test out each and every functionality of that smartwatch to find out if any existing vulnerability is present in that watch.
Okay, so one last question. Tell me that how the software flaws, whatever the flaws are there, fine.
Hmm.
Whether it
Hmm.
can bypass the pin or the gestures or the biometric looks.
So the primary, whenever you talk about smartwatches, there are very few smartwatches present in the market that are providing any kind of good lock screen. Whatever lock screen mechanism that we have, like the good ones that were only found in the, let's say, Galaxy watches or the Apple watches, where you are having good enough lock screen for smartwatches. So apart from those kind of watches, everything that is sub 5,000 point, they are all basically compromised when you talk about this stack, because ultimately we are not exactly accessing the smartwatch physically, but rather we are focusing on the data that is being transmitted between the watch and the application. So the lock screen pattern or pin does not matter at all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So next we have Shubham, paper titled From Reform to Riches, Modeling Wealth Accumulation Pattern of Indian Billionaires. Shubham, are you there?
Yes, sir. Is my screen visible?
You may please.
Hello.
Yes, your screen is visible. You may please start with your presentation.
Okay. Good morning, distinguished session chair and fellow researchers. It is my privilege to present our research paper titled From Reform to Riches, Modeling Wealth Accumulation Patterns of Indian Billionaires. So I am Shubham Goswami, and this study is collaborative effort with Professor Bimal Patel and Professor Jalpesh Vasa. Today, I will take you through our data analysis investigation into how wealth is generated, distributed, and sustained among India's ultra-high net worth individuals. We have moved beyond general economic theory to model specific patterns using data analytics. So first, I would like to begin with the abstract of our research. This research presents a comprehensive analysis of wealth accumulation patterns, drawing specifically upon Forbes billionaire data of 2023. Our primary objective was to investigate how critical demographic factors such as age, gender, or industry affiliation and wealth origin, like billionaire is self-made or wealth is inherited, like these kind of metrics influence net worth distribution in the Indian context. To ensure methodological rigor, we employed a quantitative approach that integrated data pre-processing, statistical hypothesis testing, and exploratory data visualization using Python. So our analysis yield three critical insights, which you can see. First is the industry. So we identified a significant industry-specific concentration of wealth, particularly in manufacturing, finance, technology, and healthcare. Second is the demographics. Like we identify that there is a strong positive correlation between age and net worth. Third is gender. Significantly, we can see that there are, in the Indian context, there are very few women billionaires compared to the male billionaires. As you can see, there are only 7.9% of the list. There are women in the list as of 2023. So next, let us contextualize why this research is necessary. So first is India's rapid economic growth has led to the surge in billionaires. So in the recent years, we can see that India is growing very rapidly, fueled by the technology and globalization. This has led to the dramatic surge in number of billionaires. However, this intense concentration of wealth in few hands raises critical questions about structural causes in inequality and its broader societal impact. No, the what we can see that current problem. So there current research often focuses on macro level income gaps or general mobility. However, there is a distinct lack of literature that explores mechanisms, how these billionaires actually build and maintain fortunes within India's unique regulatory and political framework. Therefore, our study aims to fill this gap. We are not just looking at how much wealth exists, but what drives it. We examine trends, demographic influences, and the specific impact of policy on wealth creation to better inform strategies that might tackle inequality. So let's see the literature review. First, we referenced the Piketty's seminal work, which is like demonstrate that wealth concentrates in top 1% whenever the return on capital surpasses the rate of economic growth. This is highly relevant to the Indian context, where capital intensive industries dominate, which we'll see in the further slides. Next is regarding the gender disparities. Studies like McKinsey's Women in Workplace highlight that women face systematic hurdles, including restricted access to capital and leadership bias. In India, this is reflected in the fact that most female billionaires mostly inherit their fortunes rather than creating them independently. Third is the geographic concentration. Like what we observe that wealth is highly, clustered into the metro cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, etc. And the last is the research gap. Existing Indian studies focus on the macroeconomics, but in this paper we focuses on the data-driven microanalysis of specific billionaire attributes. So this is the data methodology. First, we let me introduce with the data source. As I mentioned, it is the Forbes billionaire data of 2023, and these are the key variables which were analyzed: net worth, age and gender, industry and sector, and source of wealth. Then let's see the methodology flow. First, is the pre-processing of the data. So we have done is the data cleaning, missing values imputation. There were some values which were missing, so that were also handled. And the next is the outlier detection. Step is the exploratory analysis. Like after data cleaning and missing value imputation, we have done the different type of exploratory, you know, graphs and different charts were plotted to identify the relation between the metrics or variables which were the key focus. And the third is the hypothesis testing, like correlation analysis of age or industry versus the net worth, like how age or industry affects the net worth. These were the key research questions, like what are the top industries driving the wealth? What second question is the how is wealth distributed across different age groups? Third is what is the extent of gender disparity in high net worth individuals? And the next is how has millionaire wealth trend over the time? So let's see the first result, which were we found during the research. This is the regarding the industries which are the key to the Indian economy. So as we can see, the manufacturing industry is the primary industry where most Indian billionaires are made. You can see as of Forbes data 2023, there are 36 billionaires in the manufacturing industry. So it is the most dominant industry, followed by the healthcare industry. Next is the diversified, like companies which are operating in the multiple industries. For example, we can say Reliance Industries, Adani, etc. These are the diversified companies. Next is the fashion and retail and finance investment. As we can see here, based on this finding, we can see in India, most billionaires are in the capital intensive industries, like technology is very below, we can say. So those kind of the business which require low capitals are less preferable or less chance of success in India as of now. But this trend is changing, and in recent years, many billionaires from the technology sectors are also emerging. Next result two is the demographics, like age distribution and gender disparity. So talking about the age, we observe the distinct pattern. The majority of Indian billionaires fall within the range of 60 to 80. So in fact, if we talk about the all top 10 billionaires of the India, all of the age above the 60. No, notably, there is zero representation in the under 20 age group. So, this strongly implies that wealth creation in India is a long time process. It requires decades to establish the necessary market dominance. So, next we can see is the gender disparity. Uh, Regarding the gender disparity is stark. Our analysis revealed that 92.1% of the billionaire in the dataset are male, while only 7.9, specifically talking, only 14 individuals are female. However, it is important to note that where these women are successful, this is the industries are like pharmaceuticals and consumer goods. In these sectors, females are particularly doing great. Next, let's move to the result three, which is the wealth trajectory. First, we can see the top wealth holders. First is Mukesh Ambani, which is $91.7 billion. Next is Gautam Adani, which is $52.9 billion. Now, if we talk about the spike or wealth trajectory, then we can see there is a sharp increase in the wealth in the in you could say top 3 or top or 10 billionaires over the year 2021 and 2022. We identified the reason for that. It is the like most of these billionaires have their wealth through the shareholding of their companies. So after the pandemic market recovery and increased valuation of publicly listed assets in technology or renewable energy sectors. So this is the key reason why like their wealth is tied to the shareholding. So if after the COVID shares of this company are drastically increased, so their wealth is also drastically increased. Now, to conclude, our study provides a data-driven model of wealth in India. We have demonstrated that sectoral affiliation is pivotal. Like if you want to make a wealth in India, you have to target specific sectors. You can't just go into any other sector or hope to get rich very soon. Like manufacturing industry, finance, these are the primary engines of wealth in India. Second is time matters. Wealth is a time dependent. The self-made billionaires is rising, but it takes time, decades to mature. Next is inequality also persists, like gender gaps remain structural in specifically Indian context. Next is a future scope. Our findings offer valuable guidance for policymakers designing inclusive growth strategies and for investors seeking high potential sectors. So, like future research should integrate a longitudinal data set to track wealth mobility over longer periods and include qualitative dimensions. I would like to thank the Department of IT, CSPIT Charuset for providing all the necessary resources for the study. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you for the presentation. Sir, do you have any
Yeah,
question?
you tell me, how do you account for the self-made wealth? Self-made wealth.
Yes, sir. Like particularly in which context?
Yeah, means what I want to say that whatever the primary data source related to the billionaire it is coming, it is mostly coming from the Forbes. Then
Oh, yes, sir.
afterwards, the data which is being filled by the with the help of CB, fine CB.
Yes, sir.
So whether they are reliable,
Uh,
whatever the data we are filling to the CB, fine, whether
yes.
they are reliable.
Sir, Forbes or you can say any other
We can fill
global.
any data, na? How you can going to check the accountability of that?
So if we see about the list, talking about Forbes or there are multiple other organizations like Bloomberg and all, they mostly include the billionaires from which are whose wealth is visible from the public market, like their shareholding. Like we can
See, in
say,
the last, see, in the, I think so, in the last year also, the news it is been highlighted regarding the Adani, fine, the Adani
yes,
net worth, fine.
yes, sir.
So I think so, the reporter, I can't recall the reporter, that is Henderson, I think so, Henderson news, they have reported that whatever the net worth Adani is showing, fine, it is all a bluff, fine. So how you
Yes.
can rely on that particular net worth?
Sir, it is mostly like a calculation of their shares mostly. This is how the Forbes and all organization operate. So the report which came on the Adani, it was not about that Adani's wealth is wrong. It was about its company's valuation are overpriced. Like its share price are very over compared to its actual revenue. But wealth is actually like combination of all its shares. So like that.
Okay, say suppose if any of the value it is missing,
Yes.
so how you can handle those missing values?
Sir, first, like we observe the all the like variables of the data set, like age and all. If the you can say some column or some variable is missing a very high number of values. For example, there was also a column about studies and all, but it was missing a very much values. So we just dropped that because it was not relevant to our research because it was not our core focus on the. Other than that, there were not much missing values, specifically talking about net worth and all age. There were not much of missing values.
Okay, so how many features you are targeting?
Sir, as you can see here, uh, the most important are the net worth, age, and gender, as I discussed in the slide also, and like industry sector there, like in which industry they are operating.
Okay, means only four to five features you are targeting.
Yes, these are the key. There are other also, but their focus is quite a low compared to this four.
Okay, fine, take.
Uh, is there
Okay,
any?
thank you, thank you.
Okay, sir.
So next we have Vardhan, paper titled Intelligent Decomposition and Malware Analysis Using Machine Learning.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You may please begin with your presentation.
Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Okay. So our paper is titled Intelligent Decompilation and Malware Analysis Using Machine Learning. So first, we need to go through what exactly is decompilation. So we all might know that compilation is conversion of some source code in a language to a binary. A binary which is basically a series of instructions that can be executed on a processor. So decompilation is the exact reverse. We take in a binary and we somehow try to find out that what might the original source code might have been. So what is exactly the use of decompilation? Its primary use is in cybersecurity to analyze malicious software because so for our malware or virus, usually the source code is not available. So for cybersecurity analysts to analyze such software, they need to decompile it. Uh, but this is that traditional approach with decompilation is that once uh, uh, first you have to for you need to know the source language of your malware. You need to identify that. Then you need to find the appropriate decompiler. And for traditional decompilers, the output is usually not very human friendly. So it might contain very unconventional patterns. It might contain very confusing variable names. And also, if the malware executable is quite big, uh, so uh, we cannot focus on the points of interest that might be suspicious, since a decompiler will just output the whole program. So, with this paper, uh, our aim is to uh, m- uh, explore various machine learning tools that can be used in malware analysis. And then in the end, we propose an end-to-end pipeline which will integrate such tools to make a complete malware analysis pipeline which will aid cybersecurity analysts. So there are multiple stages in malware analysis. So the first stage is executable identification. So we have a standalone binary or executable. We first need to find out what might the original language have been. So uh, we split this problem into two parts. So the most popular decompiler we have right now is called Ghidra, and it was developed by the US intelligence, and it can only target C, C++, and Java as of now. Uh, so we have a standalone binary. How do we identify that what it might have been originally C or C++ or maybe Java? So we trained a machine learning model which could identify this binary. We tried two approaches. We tried logistic regression, which is your standard taking some features and binary classifier. And we tried XGBoost, which is a decision tree based classifier. So we found that XGBoost gave much better results, and it also makes sense because in logistic regression, what might have happened? We take in the binary and we just embed it into a vector and feed it to the regressor, and that will not capture the various variations in a binary file. So with XGBoost, what we do, we split the binary into various tokens. So the various details in the binary, like the headers, the OS specific details, the metadata, they are preserved. And when we feed these tokens to the XGBoost classifier, it can easily identify our binaries. So we trained this classifier on 6,000 points of data set. Uh, and this data set we generated ourselves. We'll talk about that later. So the next step is right. We have tackled C, C++, and Java. But what about other languages that Gidra does not support? So what we do, uh, for example, we have the language of Python, right? Uh, uh, our model can only take in C files. So any language can be represented as an abstract syntax tree. It's called AST. And AST is what? It is a tree-like representation of various tokens in the language, in the program. And uh, once we have an AST of a program, we can convert it from any one language to any other language. Now, uh, sorry. Yes. Now this conversion will not be accurate. So in this example, you can see that we have some input Python function, and the conversion, this is not valid C. This will not compile. But in our case, it does not matter because the further steps, they are not uh, they are not sensitive to the syntax. They are sensitive to the actual content of the program. So this is a very computationally inexpensive and convenient method to add in support for more languages in our framework. So, right, so we have identified the language, what it might be, C, C++, Python. Now we need to get to the decompilation. So there are some machine learning based tools in decompilation like LLM for decompile, which basically takes in the binary, it disassembles it, and it is a LLM, so it is essentially guessing the next token after token. But we found that it did not give much advantage over a traditional decompiler like Gidra. Uh, so while having much higher computational costs. So in the end, we decided to not stick with LLM for decompile and only continue with Gidra, and for other languages, AST-based conversion. Now, we have the decompiled malware, right? These are C files. So how do we analyze it? So there are two steps. First, we have to normalize the code, which means first we need to clean it up because this code, this might have been from any platform or from any processor architecture. So there will always be platform specific metadata in such code. This code might uh, include functions from system libraries, which might seem suspicious to our analyzer. So we need to remove that also. So we compiled a set of APIs which we deem to be suspicious. So they are split across different categories like file access or network communication. So these are the usual patterns found in malicious software. So our code normalization step, what it does is it splits the code into functions, and it only includes the functions which it deems suspicious, which may contain these APIs, and it removes all other metadata. And next, we have normalized the code. So the next step is malware
You have
analysis.
1 minute to conclude your presentation.
Okay. So, right. We have normalized the code. Now for malware analysis, uh, we went ahead with a hybrid approach, which so it is a heuristic plus logistic regression model. So what the heuristic part does is, if it comes across anything that is obviously malicious, it immediately flags the binary as malicious. For example, trying to privilege management is one such category. But if it is not immediately obvious, then uh, these functions they are embedded into vectors and spread to a logistic regressor. And uh, if these APIs they come up in certain patterns or certain structures, then we can flag the binary as malicious. So this is our final proposed system from the input binary to the final analysis. In fact, to give a demo of this proposed framework, uh, we came up with an like a simple front end that will take in such binary and give a simple analysis. So we can see a screen cap from here. So as you can see, once to make the summary that we can see here on the right side, we use such categorizers. So once we have flagged the binary for suspiciousness, we can use such categories to generate a summary. Uh, so in conclusion, we propose this pipeline with which uses various machine learning tools to aid cybersecurity analysts in malware analysis. Thank you. These are our links and references. Thank you.
Yeah, see, when we go from the compilation, then again we are going to decompile it. Is there any ambiguity related to the instructional label or the control flow reconstruction?
Uh, there is with the Gidra decompiler, it can tend to change the flow, or it can have unconventional patterns. But it we mitigate that because in the end our analyzer it is not very sensitive to the syntax. It is only sensitive to the certain suspicious tokens that it will find in the functions. So uh, uh, it does not matter very much in the end, the disambiguity,
Okay, fine.
the
Thank you.
ambiguousness. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. So next we have Rathod Dharmesh, paper titled Immigrating Cost Overrun in Construction Project a Review.
Hello everyone. Yes, my screen is hello.
Hello. Yes, your screen is visible.
Okay,
Please
sir.
begin with the presentation.
I'm here to present a review paper. Topic name is mitigating cost overruns in a construction project. So I'm from Parul University, and first of all, here is abstract or overview. Cost overruns are a persistent challenge in construction project, which may be lead to financial stress, delays, or any disputes. It's a mainly study focus on financial control rather than only scheduling. It will also abstract about reviews, modern mitigation strategy, and industry practice. In regular practice, how we can mitigate this thing. Also, emphasis on protective and technology-driven cost management. Here is the introduction. Cost overruns. Actual project cost exceeds initial budget. When any construction project is ongoing, at that time, first of all, we are actually making initial budget, approximate budget about that project. But while completing the project, in the end, always project budget is always goes to high. So here are introduction about why this thing is happen. Common across infrastructure and building projects, cost control is critical for project success. Construction involves high uncertainty and multiple stakeholders. Failure to manage cost leads to delays and a project failure. Key insight: say inaccurate early cost estimates a major contributor. Early cost always estimate a major contributor for this thing, like shift from reactive to proactive cost control approaches. Real-time monitoring improves budget reliability. Also, BM enhances coordination and reduces work rework. Strategic procurement improves cost resilience. Major causes why this thing happen. What are the major causes of cost overruns? here are incomplete or inaccurate cost estimation. Whenever cost estimation is done, is either incomplete or inaccurate, like scope changes and late design modification. When we estimate a cost about that project, but after that which we face design modification, scope bar changes, is procurement and supply chain disrupts, material sometimes not available on time or maybe on lead, so we have to pay more. Labor shortage and productivity issues, sometimes labor due to any festival or any either environmental problem, sometimes labor are shortage, and so the productivity issues, or will be not able how much we production from one labor. Ineffective contract and risk management, sometimes ineffective contract or a risk management, it's also major causes of cost overruns during a construction. Impact of cost overruns, what does the impact of this thing on any construction project? Increase financial burden on stakeholders. It increase a financial burden on stakeholders who are one type of financier of our project. It got a financial burden. Project delays and extended timelines, disputes and contractual conflicts, reduce project quality or scope compromise. In extreme cases, complete project failure. Sometimes this thing happen to complete project failure. Mitigation strategies which we think it should be work, like shift from reactive to proactive cost control, early identification of risk and uncertainties. Sometimes we will, I think we should identify early about what type of risk and uncertainties will be occur during a construction project. Integration of financial planning with project execution. Integration of financial planning while project execution is ongoing, at that time integration of financial planning, we should have uh, plan financially planning early stage. Use of digital tools for transparency, collaborative stakeholder engagement. Key mitigation strategies: 1. Realistic budgeting using historical data, project specific contingency planning, early and continuous risk assessment, probabilistic cost modeling, also early contractor involvement. Flexible and adaptive contract structures, strategic procurement and supplier partnership. Procurement will be go through strategically, and also partnership of a supplier will be done. Strict change management procedures, transparent cost reporting system, culture of cost awareness and accountability. 5D building information modeling BIM, which shows it is a one type of software which shows a real-time cost tracking dashboards, also predictive analytics and AI-based forecasting, cloud-based collaboration platforms, improved accuracy and early decision making. It improves accuracy by like one person or any other person, human person trying to find out what type of cost control technology should be done, but at that time same this thing will be done by BIM. So we think that BIM is maybe more accurate than human uh, researches. Case studies and best practices. Indian infrastructure and urban development projects, use of BIM linked to cost system, learn and local procurement strategies, lean, sorry. Adaptive contracts with escalation clauses. We take adaptive contracts is due to with escalation clauses, demonstrated cost saving and reduce overruns. We will demonstrate you by cost savings and reduce overruns. It also overruns will be happen either how much we will accurate find out cost estimation, but at least we can reduce that thing. If either project goes to about 10% high than actual estimated budget, by using this type of things we can reduce that 10 to 4, 5, 6, either whatever number, but not exact 10%. Key takeaways: cost overruns are multi-causal and interconnected. Early planning and accurate estimation are essential. Essential. As we talk about further, this thing explain that early planning and accurate estimation are essential. Technology enables proactive cost control. Collaboration reduces sorry Collaboration reduces disputes and rework. Collaboration with local strategies, local people, whether project, it reduces disputes and rework. Integrated approaches deliver better outcomes. Cost overrun mitigation requires an integrated cost control. So guys, here we are at a conclusion point. Combining budgeting, risk management and technology is critical. 5D BIM and analytics enhance transparency and forecasting. Civil engineers must adopt proactive financial management. Future projects demand digital and collaborative practices. Thank you guys.
Thank you for the presentation. Sir, do you have any questions?
Okay, does it impact the building information modeling, whatever you have said, BIM, on cost control?
Yes, sir.
How?
Like we are whenever we try to find out BIM also gives one type of drawings or structural drawing or either BIM building information technology gives a provides a drawing which is very accurate than a human or any architect or any engineer person design. So that's why it reduces our rework and saves time.
Okay, what about, have you heard about the earned value management?
Sorry, sir.
EVM? EVM, have you heard about the EVM? That is
Yes,
the
sir.
earn, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I
what
heard
exactly
about
is
that.
that?
Sorry, sir, but right now I'm not remember that what exactly Arnold, but I already heard about that.
Because it required now for the whenever you are executing the project for so it requires for the project monitoring as well as for the control. It plays a vital role, na? Same as for the BIM, that is the building information modeling. It is required for the cost estimation as well as for the planning of the project. So same as EVM also plays a major role for
Yes,
monitoring.
sir.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So next we have Sabina, paper titled Smart Femtech and Nutrition Leveraging Bio IoT and AI for Personalized Women Health. Sabina, are you there?
Yes, good morning, everyone. I am one of the co-author in the paper. I will be presenting the paper. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is. You may please begin with your presentation.
Okay, so the title, yes, the title of the paper is Smart Femtech and Nutrition Leveraging Bio IoT and Artificial Intelligence for Personalized Women Health. So as far as the current study is concerned, we will be integrating the smart femtech solution with artificial intelligence and will be discovering that whether its integration really help to solve problem related to women or not. So to begin with, in India, let us first have a look at the reality that we are facing at the particular moment. So in India, 57% of women aged 15 to 49 are anemic, and nearly 50% of pregnant women suffer from anemia, leading to pregnancy complication and low birth weight risks. Simultaneously, India faces a dual burden of malnutrition, undernutrition coexisting with rising obesity. So these challenges indicate that conventional healthcare system are reactive, and also they are fragmented and also insufficiently personalized. So therefore, there is a urgent need for real-time monitoring, early risk prediction, and customized nutritional intervention that can be done effectively with the help of new technology that we can call it as a femtech. So as far as the current objectives of the study is concerned, there are two major objectives. In the current research, we will try to assess how integrating artificial intelligence and bio IoT enhances women healthcare infrastructure, and it will also examine the technology acceptance and reliability of the smart health system. Also, the current study will evaluate the effectiveness of personalized nutritional intervention, and that will be enabled through femtech. So these objectives collectively aim to understand whether digital health innovation can deliver measurable improvement or not. So to meet these research objectives, a structural methodology is followed. So if we move on to our research design, we adopt a quantitative survey approach using a structured questionnaire based on the Likert scale. And the data was collected through convenience sampling, as this sampling is appropriate for exploratory technology adoption studies. For analysis, we employed PLSM, which is well suited for testing complex structural relationships and the latent constructs. So this methodological framework allows us to examine both measurement reliability and causal path relationship at the same time. So when this methodology was applied, this conceptual model was framed. In this conceptual model, all the variables that are on the left hand side, they are acting as an independent variable, that is bio IoT infrastructure and AI driven personalization. The variable that is given on the right hand side, that is personalized human health outcome, is acting as an dependent variable. And the variable lying in the middle, that is user engagement and trust in female technologies, it is acting as a mediating variable. And digital literacy will moderate the relationship between all these things, because in the presence of digital literacy, these technologies can be assessed and the benefits of such technologies can be exploited. So this is our research model, this is our conceptual model, and the relationship between the model will be analyzed by the application of software Smart PLS4. Now, when this model was run, it was based upon the sample collection that was of 120 sample size. And this sample collection is dissected into various demographic based upon age, marital status, highest education, and the femtex usage duration. And the sample size of 120 can be justified by the use of software G star power. In the software, the minimum sample size that was required for drawing the conclusion based upon the questionnaire, based upon the research tool that we had developed, was 89. And if minimum sample size requirement is met, the data will be normally distributed. So 120 sample size will be enough to draw the conclusion at the initial stage. So when data was analyzed, the first step was that we checked the reliability and validity of the study. The reliability and validity of the study is analyzed by the basic parameter. The first one was cron batch alpha, the second one was composite reliability, and in the last we checked the average variance extracted. In cron batch alpha, all the values are above 0.75, so hence data can be reliable, data can be said that it is reliable, and also average variance extracted is more than 0.5. So since these two parameters are met, we can rely upon the results that we will get after the analyzation of data of measurement of relationship between the variables. The second thing we need to test is the discriminant validity. Discriminant validity states that all the variables, all the constructs, they should be different from each other. If the responses are almost same, there is no room for drawing the relationship between the variables. So as per the discriminant validity, all the variables are different from each other as values are less than 0.85. So values are less than the threshold limit. So data is valid as far as discriminant is concerned. Now, once the reliability and validity was established, the next thing we did was we tested the hypothesis on the basis of the p-value that was based upon the data collection that we have done from the respondents. So talking about the first relationship, I will talk about all the relationship with the diagram, then it will be more clear. Just from the table, we can have an assessment that all the relationships were statistically significant as the p-values are less than 0.05. So all the relationship between the variables are found to be statistically significant, leaving the digital literacy in moderation with bio IoT and user engagement and trust in femtech. So I will come to the diagram to explain it in a much better way. Before I conclude, let us understand this relationship. So this is my conceptual model, which contains all the complex relationship between the variable that is drawn after collecting the data. So we can see that values lying inside the circle is 0.752 and 0.672. These values are the values of regression coefficient. It means out of 100 times, 75 times you are able to make the right prediction considering the user engagement, and out of 100 times, 67 times is the right prediction considering the personalized women health outcome. So this percentage is acceptable because it inclines towards the results of social sciences, that if it is more than 0.5, we can draw our conclusion based upon that. However, it is also the limitation because if the sample size will be increased, we can have a more strong value of regression coefficient. So the relationship between all these variables, that is how bio IoT infrastructure impact the personalized women health outcome, is statistically significant. Also, the way in which AI driven personalization is impacting the woman health outcome is also statistically significant. However, people are using this technology, they are not digitally aware of all the aspects of the technology. They are aware of the aspects that they are particularly using. So if more awareness among the females can be generated, definitely we can solve the current issues that we are facing in terms of women health. So at last, I would like to conclude that technological advancement is rapidly reshaping the global healthcare. There is no doubt in that. But traditional health systems struggle to process the massive health data effectively. So by integrating AI with Femtech supported bio IoT infrastructure, health delivery becomes more reliable. Predictive and personalized health, particularly vital for women health. Therefore, it is necessary to integrate such technology and to promote such technology. So our study provides an empirical evidence that digital health ecosystem can strengthen women healthcare infrastructure in India. Thank you so much for your attention. I look forward for the valuable questions.
Thank you for the presentation. Sir, do you have any questions?
Yeah, no questions. Why? Because you have presented nicely, and whatever the slides it has been there, fine. You have mapped correctly whatever the prediction related to the diet for any of the domain, fine. So it's a nice presentation, fine.
Thank you so much, sir.
So next we have Shubham, paper titled Sustainability in Higher Education Human Resources, a review for practicing challenges and technology-driven solution. Shubham, are you there? Shubham? Okay. So next we have Teresa, paper titled Training the Leader's Heart, Exploring the Learnability and Application of Emotion Intelligence in Leadership. Teresa, are you there? Teresa, you may please start with the presentation. Okay, Teresa, you may please start your presentation.
I guess there is some audio issue because we are not able to hear you. Request to the presenter to please fix the audio issues. Meanwhile, Shashwat, we can take the next presenter if they are present here.
Sure, ma'am. So next we have Esmeraldo, paper titled Web Application Using the React Framework for Operational Management in a Self-Managed Soup Kitchen with a Low Technological Proficiency in Villa El Salvador, Lima.
Yes, good morning. I'm here. I will share my screen. I am sharing. My screen is visible.
Yes, it is. You may please start with your presentation.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Esmeralda Cienfuegos. Together with my colleague, Mariela Martinez, We conducted the research entitled Web Application User React Framework for Operational Management in a Self-Management Subkitchen with Low Technological Proficiency in Villa El Salvador, Lima. Developed at the Peruvian University of Applied Science. In this occasion, I will present in this work. Context. During this presentation, I will address the problem statement and the digital device affecting self-management community subkitchen, followed by the research objective and the respective contribution. Then I will present the proposed solution, my Comedor, including its main features and the sister architecture. Finally, I will explain the case study, the evaluation process, the results obtained, and the main conclusion of the research. Problem statement, sorry. Self-management community subkitchen play a key role in ensuring food security for vulnerable communities. However, most of them still manage their operation using notebooks and manual records. This lack of these digital tools leads to poor traceability, inefficient use of resources, and the increased risk of errors or mismanagement. Additionally, most of the leaders have limited technological experience, which makes the adoption of traditional systems difficult. The digital divide. One of the main challenges is the digital device. Most of subscription leaders have a little experience with digital tools, making complex systems difficult to use. Many existing solutions are designed for technical users and doesn't consider the reality of the vulnerable communities. As a result, technology becomes a barrier rather than solution. Research objective and contribution. And the objective of this research is to develop a user-friendly web application designed specifically for self-management community subscription. The system supports users with low technological literacy and focus on the simplicity and usability. It digitalizes key operational processes such as inventory management, meal portions, and budgets. And this improving organization, transparency, and decision making. Proposed solution, mi comedor. To address these challenges, we propose My Comedor. In English, it's like My Kitchen, a web-based management system of self-management community subkitchen. The application was specifically designed for users with low technological literacy. It is cloud-based, allowed access from any internet-enabled device, and focuses on simplicity, usability, and accessibility. Q future. Now we can see the main script of the application called My Comedor. That includes the main functionalities required for the daily operation of the community subkitchen. It allows users to manage inventory and supplies in the My Products module, record meals portion servers in the ration module, register beneficiary in beneficiary module, and the coordination tax module, and the control budgets in the respective module. And also, the system automatically generates a daily and weekly reports to support decision making. And finally, in the bottom of the screen, we can see the section of notes. System architecture. And this slide presents the system architecture of the application. The system is divided in three main components: front-end, back-end, and database. The functionality of this application is the president of the community subkitchen access the system through the front-end using mobile device or computers with an internet connection. And this connect with the front end, that is a web application developed with React, TypeScript, HTML, and CSS. And it is used interface libraries such as Material UI. It is deployed on Vercel and provides secure access to the system. For the backend, it was implemented with using Java and Spring Boot. And it is both REST API secure with JSON web token authentication. It is deployed on render and it is responsible for processing the requests made by presidents, handling all the business logic and the data processing. Finally, the system uses a cloud-based Postgres SQL database to store all the operational information recorded by the president. This architecture ensures secure access, scalability, and real-time data management for a self-management community subscription. In the case of study, Mi Comedor was implemented and tested in 4.7 management community subscription in Villa El Salvador, Lima, Peru. The application was used under real operational conditions by the subscription management manager. To evaluate the system, we standardized usability instruments were applied specifically the system usability scale, question, and the usefulness, satisfaction, and easy of use questionnaire use. The results, the evaluation results show excellent usability and user acceptance. The system achieved a score of 91 out of 100, which is considered outstanding. Additionally, the use questionnaire research an average score of 4.38 out of 5, indicated a high level of usefulness, easy of use, and user satisfaction. In conclusion, we have that Mi Comedor improves the operational management of self-management community subscription by digitalizing their queue processes. The system was designed for users with low digital literacy and proved to be easy to use and well accepted. Overall, this solution contributes to greater transparency and promotes digital inclusion in vulnerable communities. And thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Sir, do you have any questions?
Yeah, nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you just tell me how exactly you are going to demonstrate.
Sorry, can you repeat, please? Yes, I can hear you well. Sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah, tell me how you are going to have the operational manager regarding the
the processes of the we digitalize was all of them. Maybe the principals operation. The most important of this process was beneficiaries, because they need have a very good register of the beneficiaries that because normally the presidents take their registration on notebooks, and maybe in the book it's more easy to destroy this information, but maybe in the application you have a persevere a good register for many times.
Okay, and on the basis of this, you are also taking the feedback or the review system, fine. And in that review, you have just mentioned the floating values. Whether it is possible for the floating values, 4.38 you have mentioned, you just get it to the next slide. Next slide. Yeah, next slide again. Yeah, this 4.38. How you are going to measure
Yes.
the values which are in the floating?
Okay. Well, it's a average of the four subkitchen, and many of them give a puntuation to 1 to 5 in the question, and the result of this question we do average, and we have the result of
No, it is better. See, it is
4.13.
better to have just only the decimals value, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is better. If you are getting a floating value 4.38, then afterwards 4.5, how you are going to justify? That's my
Well,
main
maybe,
question.
okay. Uh, for example, maybe the president says that, well, the question that
See,
was,
just I explain. Did the application
yes,
help you better organize the daily activity of your soup kitchen? And if I give, say, suppose 0.68, what it means? 0.68. If I give a review or the ratings in the form of decimal, 0.68, what it will
yes,
be?
maybe the president says that the application it's a good tool, but maybe she needs to use regularly, maybe all the days for to learn the correct functionalities. But maybe it's was the point that we don't have the fight in some questions, because they need to use all the days for adapt the application. But if she do that, use the application all the days, well, the president can learn exactly the correct functionality of the application. Maybe for that, it's for that we don't have the fight in the all, well, in the some specific question.
Oh, fine. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
So next we have Tareja, paper titled Training the Leader's Heart, Exploring the Learnability and Application of Emotional Intelligence in Leadership. Tareja, you may please begin with your presentation.
Tripathi sir, you get it with the next presentation if she is not available.
Okay, sir. Tareja, are you there?
Teresa, if you're facing any issues while presenting, so you can share your recorded PPT on the support email ID. That way you will get the presentation certificate, because right now I guess this was the last presentation. So we do not have any more presentations left. So we'll be going to the closing remarks now.
So next we have Shubham, paper titled Sustainability in Higher Education Human Resources, a review for practicing challenges and technology driven solution. Shubham, are you there? Okay. I sincerely thanks our author for their excellent presentation and contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope This session was informative enough. We, on behalf of our whole team, thank you for the support during the 10th version and all the previous 9 versions of the conference. We will be happy to have you in the 11th version in 2027. All the presenter would be getting their digital certificates through by email within 2 working days. The publication will be live within 7 to 8 months. Kindly cooperate with the team of SmartCom 2026. I also thanks our session chair, Dr. Jameen Kotwal, for chairing the session. A token of appreciation to the chair on behalf of the team SmartCom 2026 and Global Knowledge Research Foundation and partners. Thank you for your valuable presence. Sir, do you have any close remark for us?
See, I think so. From this session, we have to get best here award, na? From this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think so. That will be much better. Exploring the software vulnerability in the smartwatch security, which is presented by the Patel.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
I kindly request you all to switch on your cameras for a quick snapshot of the virtual conference. Okay. Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you, Tripathi sir.